What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? Nathan and Alan here. We are your Hill Brothers, and it is week 3, and North Carolina is getting ready to take on those Richmond Spiders. Brand new to the Patriot League this year, man. You've had a nice conversation over there on the scouting report. Just yesterday with Christian. He did
Travis.
He did a great song, man.
Gravis. I'm sorry, not Travis. I'm sorry, Christian.
Gravis. He was a great interview, man. You guys need to make sure and go check that out. He talks a little bit more about this team, goes dive deep a little bit before into the team and what this team is going to be. That's going to show up in the Kenan Stadium on Saturday. It's going to be an awesome time, man, for an FCS squad to come into this game, man. But it's time to break this thing down, as we always do. 3:30 p.m. on the ACC Network. We are not on ESPN Plus this week. We are on the ACC Network, 3:30 p.m. The North Carolina Tar Heels take on the Richmond Spiders. Both teams come into this game 1-1 on the season. North Carolina is favored currently by ESPN Natric Predictor 93.2%. They come in also as a 21.5-point favorite over the Richmond Spiders. The Spiders in North Carolina are going to be facing for the first time since 1978 when they defeated the Tar Heels in Kenan Stadium 27-18 in front of a 15,000 person crowd. That was just one of 3 wins in that Richmond series, Richmond campaign that year. They only won 3 games, one of them being against our North Carolina Tar Heels. Think about it. A couple of seasons later, Alan, that would be our ACC championship year with LT. Just a couple of years after that, in 80, man. So Richmond is familiar with North Carolina. This will actually be the 15th total meeting between these two programs. Currently, UNC holding a 12-2 advantage over the Richmond Spiders. Is a team who's not too unfamiliar with ACC squads. Them against us, them against Virginia. These are some games that they like to play a lot. So they're familiar to the ACC area. Obviously, Virginia being just right up the road from them in Richmond. And so they're familiar for the ACC atmosphere, and this is not going to be anything brand new to them. Richmond is being led in by head coach Russ Huesman. He is coming into his 8th season as the Richmond head coach. He is 53-37 as of last week in his campaign with the Richmond Spiders. Overall in his coaching career, he's 112-74. The last 3 seasons for the Richmond Spiders, Russ has led them to 9 wins or more in the last 3 seasons. Last year's being their 10-win year. They went to the FCS playoffs the last 3 years as well, making it to the second round in 2 out of those 3 years. Last year, and the last 2 seasons, they won the Coastal Athletic Association Conference Championship, and they were picked second to finish in this year's Patriot League, which they are brand new to, falling only short behind Lehigh, which is their only loss on the season. This was a team that they had already scheduled to play this year, and then they moved over to the Patriot League and ended up becoming a conference game. It was a 21-14 game. A good battle between those two programs. Lehigh has been like the ACC's Clemson, if you will. They've been running that league over the last few years. And to see them face off, it was a good test for them in week 1. Have it. So the Richmond Spiders are not a team to be playing around with. It's a very high discipline team. Last game, they did win against Wofford 14-10 up in Wofford. Not too terribly far from Chapel Hill. They're coming into this game with a passing leader, quarterback Kyle Wickersham. He is a 6'4", 260-pound quarterback. He has thrown for 266 yards on 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Also, Kyle Wickersham, that same body type, is their leading rusher with 31 carries for 2 touchdowns and 103 total yards. Sack leader is defensive lineman Camden Bird, 6'3", 245 pounds. He has 2 sacks on the season. And their leading tackler is linebacker Peyton Sealman, who is a 6'1", 225-pound linebacker with 10 solo tackles and 1 sack. One thing about Peyton, he is one of 9 total players on offense and defense that have made their first career starts over the last 2 weeks. So this guy is brand new as a starter in their system, and this guy is racking up these kinds of numbers early on. So he's a guy that North Carolina's going to have to worry about. The Spiders defense last week did not allow a single third down conversion at all against Wofford. They held the Terriers to just 158 yards, 47 rushing, 111 passing, and 0 offensive touchdowns. 0, none at all. Wofford was 0 for 11 on third down, and their quarterback was sacked 4 total times. This team is a very disciplined team that is coming into Chapel Hill. You've heard that talked by our head coach, Bill Belichick. And this is a team that Carolina cannot take lightly because this team is seemingly very fundamentally sound. They're in a place in their conference that North Carolina is trying to get to in our conference and in the FBS level and the Power 4 level. Coming into this game, North Carolina is coming off of a win against the Charlotte 49ers. 20-3 win for the North Carolina Tar Heels in a game that had a lot of conversation through us as fans, as we did a live watch party and talked about it coming out of the game. So a lot of conversation coming out. Your passing leader is Gio Lopez, your quarterback, with 224 yards with 1 touchdown. Rushing leader currently right now is Demon June, who got all of his rushing yards last week against the Charlotte 49ers. 52 yards on 9 carries. Receiving yards leader is Jordan Shipp with 97 yards on 6 different receptions. Carolina is finally got a sack leader, and that is Andrew Simpson, the linebacker, with 1 sack. And your tackles leader, also Andrew Simpson, the linebacker, with 15 total tackles. North Carolina has got themselves a fun game in store this coming Saturday at 3:30. I can't wait to be there. This will be our first game as an usher over there. I can't wait to get in there and see this game live and in person. FCS games. Alan, you were at North Carolina Central last year. You got to see the crowd that showed up for that. There is going to be a Carolina brewery. There's going to be a kind of a get-together tailgate kind of deal for the Richmond Spiders that are coming down. It's going to be this fan base is going to follow this team wherever they go, and I can't wait to see what this team does. This is a really good team at the FCS level. 3 playoff appearances over the last 3 years, 9 or more wins over the last 3 years, conference championship the last 2 years, moving to the brand new conference, the Patriot League, and is picked 2nd in that conference. Alan, tell me what you think we can expect from this game.
Man, I think, and it's hard to predict, but given North Carolina's offensive woes, and I think we can say offensive woes, seeing how they only moved the ball for 300 yards, or a little over 300 yards against Charlotte, only scored 20 points. I think they've had 22 offensive possessions over 2 games, and 12 of those they have not registered a first down. That's not a very pleasant stat. And, FCS school, it is what it is. I guess their players, you say undersized, not as strong as your Power 4, your typical peak Power 4 players and recruits are. But what I think the advantage that Richmond comes in with is the stability around the coaching staff and the cohesion between players. They understand what their coaches want, and they understand how the coaches how their coaches want them to play.
Right.
They know the schemes and the fits. They know they just know because for example, Justin Wood, the defensive coordinator, he's been the defensive coordinator since the 2020 season. That's 6 years, 6 seasons, 5 seasons. Sorry, I don't know why I think it's 2026. Anyway, 5 seasons. That's a long time for a stint of a defensive coordinator. Most coordinator jobs, if you're good at your job, and go back and look at his record, he's had some pretty stout defenses during his tenure with Richmond. Um, if you're good at your job at that level, then typically a higher level school comes calling. Um,
Right.
maybe they've overlooked him. Maybe they haven't heard of him. Maybe they don't look at Richmond. Who knows? Or maybe he likes Richmond and he doesn't want to go anywhere. And it seems to work out because this looks like a solid defense. And if North Carolina hasn't figured their stuff out offensively, I think this game could be, I think it could be closer than what people think or what UNC fans would want.
Right.
But yeah, I think this is going to be another good another good test. That's what I see out of it, just because of the cohesion between the coaching staff and the players, and the tenure that the coaches have been there. They're not bringing in 70 new players. They're not bringing in new coaches. So I mean, they got a leg up on North Carolina when it comes to that. It should make it an interesting ball game.
And not only that, but they're proven. They're a proven team over the last 3 years. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
three playoff appearances over the last 3 seasons, back-to-back conference championships on the CAA. They're moved to the Patriot League, picked second immediately coming into that league. Faced up against the number one team, which has been Lehigh, lost by a touchdown, close game, 21-14, not very high scoring at all. They've got they've got a lot of discipline on this team. Coach Belichick talked really high about them in the press conference, which you kind of typically think, but he talked about it a little bit more with even more emphasis than he did Charlotte or even TCU for that matter coming in. So I think he has a really good feel for this team. A couple of things that I've noticed about Richmond is their offensive line has been shuffling like crazy. So they've got a couple of brand new guys in week 1 and 2. Philip Gray III made his first career start at center. And there's while their sophomore Bo Fowler made his first collegiate debut when he played right guard. And this has been something that has been shifting around over the last couple of weeks. So they're trying to figure out who they are. Another thing is they're a relatively younger team, and they've got some penalty issues, to say the least. So they're trying to work through some of that as well, which I think could be something that Carolina could exploit, especially Steve Belichick on defense. Can he disguise stuff? Can he fake a blitz, before the snap to get a lineman to jump and to call penalties? That way you can just have even more free yards, if you will, and make the job for your defense even easier. But for the offensive side of the ball for North Carolina, I like this will be a test. This is a team that does not let stuff get over the top. This is not that kind of a team. 0-11 they held Wofford. Now, don't get me wrong. Wofford isn't the greatest show on turf offensively, but this team, for you to be able to do that against anybody, I mean, North Carolina couldn't do that against Charlotte last week, and Charlotte is a team that's looking for everything that they can find offensively. Talking about potential quarterback change coming into that game, don't know who in the world they are. So much brand new offensive movement on their team that Carolina couldn't do that at all over there. So to hold a team 0-11, that's pretty daggum good, man. And I expect some physical play by these Richmond Spiders coming in. Camden Bird is a legit guy. He is a guy that, in my opinion, just looking based off of stats and everything, he looks like to me like a guy that could have easily have went hit the transfer portal and probably gotten somewhere a little bit higher level than what he's at right now. But he's a tried and true guy, and he's going to put pressure on the quarterback. And honestly, the whole defensive line themselves are pretty solid based off of Christian Gravis from Richmond. what he had to say about them. So I'm really looking forward to be a good test for offensive line, an offensive line that's still trying to find some cohesion. Hopefully, they're in their second to last game, without Austin Blasky. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Hope we get to see him, back in the next few weeks for that Clemson game. We'll find out. But this team is going to get challenged on the offensive line, and they're going to try their best to stop the run and keep your wide receivers in a box and play physical with them. So these are going to be a good challenge for our offense. And, our offense is going to have to go win this game in order to and to be aggressive in order to score on this Richmond defense, because Richmond's not going to play around. They're not going to play around with you at all. Something I think is actually really cool is they got an Australian punter too. They got a punter from down under. That's what I'm talking about. So they are also familiar with the punting game from Australia over there. So maybe him and Tom McGinnis, they can kind of hang out before the game and share Barbie secrets and
oi, 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 oi.
yeah, just like that. There you go. That wasn't horrible. I'm gonna clip that and put that everywhere. Every first down. Art.
Art.
Oh man, that is awesome. But defensively, this is something I can't wait to see Carolina have to deal with. A quarterback a true dual threat quarterback that is basically just a linebacker running at you. He is, as they say, 6'4", 260. That's a big brother. That dude's huge, and he is. If you go look at pictures of him, he is a mammoth of a man behind the offensive line, and that guy's coming downhill at you. So Thaddeus Dixon, Andrew Simpson, Kamari House, get ready to you have to light him up, and you got to bring him down. Caleb Cost, you better wrap up and hold on for the ride, because you probably gonna get pulled a couple of yards, and then maybe he'll fall down. We'll find out. But this is going to be an interesting, challenge for North Carolina. Connor Harrell last week, you poised some threats. Josh Hoover a couple of weeks ago. They've dealt with some of this dual threat stuff. I think Hoover was Hoover is he has just abilities to be able to sense the pocket and where to go at any point in time and escape. But if Carolina can't find pressure defensively on the quarterback in order to move him, then he may be able to be a guy that just kind of sits back in the pocket and goes to wherever side of the field he needs to pick you apart and or find a running lane. So I like that Carolina has to go up against this one more time this week. And then we'll get, obviously to UCF, which the quarterback conversation is a little bit hazy right now, as we'll see. But Carolina is going to be tested on every level this week, especially on special teams. They're a sound special teams unit. If you're not careful, they can break one on you, and they can, take one home for a touchdown. So I'm excited for this matchup. I think you are too, from based off of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good test for UNC to see how much they've progressed, both offensively and defensively. I was listening to some player availability today, and DeAndre Robinson said that the big emphasis in practice this week was tackling, due to the size of especially due to the size of the quarterback. You don't want to get to the quarterback and not be able to bring him down, and he'd be able to use his legs and scramble away.
Right.
So you gotta make the most of those opportunities when you get them. And the coach for Richmond, his pre UNC press conference, he was talking about when it comes to games like this, and I think Christian hit on it, and I might be just echoing what he was saying. If there's a play to be made by either on offense or defense, you have to make it. There is no for their team, there is no, I'll just make it the next time, because you don't know if you'll get a next time.
Right.
In the circumstances when you're going when a FCS goes up against a Power 4 team. So Me personally, I think Richmond's going to come in locked in, ready to go. Christian said this will be probably the biggest crowd that they've ever played against. Um, so yeah, man, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see if North Carolina can bring the physicality and really use their height and weight to the advantages that they most definitely should be, especially in the trenches against a team of this size. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see it. Can't wait.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this game and being able to be there in person. I'm excited to see some of the Richmond fans, man. Richmond is actually not a stranger to North Carolina. They just came down here and won in I think it was men's lacrosse. They won a tournament game just a number of months
Hmm.
ago. So
Hmm.
this is not Richmond's had some success in Chapel Hill not that long ago. So this is
Yeah,
going to
that's
be a
what
very
Christian was
interesting.
saying.
Right, this is going to be a very interesting game here. So it leads us all down to predictions. What do we expect? North Carolina and Richmond. What's our score predictions? And Alan, I'm gonna let you lead off first. What do you got for this game?
Man, scoring requires offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know what North Carolina's. I mean, I predicted 35-17, I think was my prediction for Charlotte. I
Something
think I
like that.
usually
Yeah,
write it. I think I usually write it down, but I don't see it. So obviously I didn't write it down.
I think that was right. 35 because I went
Yeah, because I
34-14. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
24. See, I got the TCU 24-7 Frogs. Yeah, I just didn't write it down. Anyway, um, so yeah, man, I think North Carolina's. I'm confident North Carolina's going to win the game, but I'm not confident in saying North. I think North Carolina needs to score 35 points just to shut some of the naysayers up, maybe, and that's scoring 35 and allowing less than 10.
Yeah.
Um,
41-10 last year against NC Central. That was a basically what a tie ball game going into the fourth quarter.
yeah. That was nasty. That wasn't a good game. Um, that game was a lot closer than the score indicated at the end. I don't think anybody was really confident coming out of that game. Jeez, I just can't predict North Carolina to score 40 when the highest point total is 20 and their next game is 14, and they just go pretty much a half a game without getting a first down. Um, I'm gonna go 27-3.
Dude, me and you are close again, bro. We are very close again. I like that, and I'm actually going to go 28-7 on my prediction there. I think Carolina scored 14. Now they scored 20. Let's see if we can't. Let's see if we can't. Get those extra 8 there. 28-7. I think that Richmond probably scores later in the game instead of earlier in my opinion. I'm thinking, second half touchdown, the game kind of fairly in order. And like Charlotte was last week, they were starting to march the ball down the field, and a lot of their
Hmm.
yards came from that kind of garbage time, really, where
Yep.
they were definitely trying to score there. But this is going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing live and in living color. If you guys are in section 105, 106, or happen to be in that area, that is where I'm going to be ushering. You guys can come over there and
Come
say
see
hello.
him.
There's been a number of people who've been asking me where I'm going to be and this, that, and the other thing. Section 105, 106, I will be in the tunnel right there as you come out, and you'll see me. Come say hello, say what's going on, and give me a high five or something, and have a good day, man. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get out there. First of many home games for me this season, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys
I'm
so
going to buy
much.
some tickets. I'm going to buy some tickets to a North Carolina home game in section 105 or 106, and I'm going to yell at you the entire game saying that you suck at your job. Like, hey, Usher, you suck.
Oh man, oh dude,
I'm going to
yeah.
do it.
So they're going to record the Hill brothers fighting. Hey, look, it's the Hill brothers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, over here like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Oh man, dude. Oh, that would be tremendous. I'd be kicked out forever. It'd be so good. But hey, free merchandise at least there is there. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you think this game's going to go? What's your score predictions? Leave it all down in the comments below. If you're brand new to the Hill Brothers, make sure hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click the hype button on this video. Hype this sucker
Yeah,
up, man.
hype
Throw us
the
some stars.
yeah,
I don't
hype
know
it.
what the heck that thing does, but hype
I
it,
don't
son.
I'm not sure what the hype means, but
I don't either.
I figured out you can only hype 3 a week, so it have to be 3 videos total. So,
Yeah,
you got to be strategic in the videos that you hype. So,
that's right.
don't hype the big guys, they get plenty of attention, come hype the Hill brothers.
Okay.
I thought it was unlimited hype, It's not unlimited hype. You
No,
definitely run out of hype. There's only so
I
much
need some.
hype energy.
I need to buy some hype coins.
Is that a
I wonder
thing?
we're gonna make it.
Oh, okay.
We'll make that that Digicoin or whatever the thing that was that Haktua girl did that she like sold off and then just bailed.
Yeah, you ain't heard nothing from her since she had a crypto coin go
That's
expensive,
it.
and
Which quite frankly, I have yet to understand what the heck this stuff even is, but I don't even care to learn. It's okay. Have at it, Captain. I'm not in the crypto world. I am in the Hill Brother world, and that's what we are here. Hey,
we
anyway,
should
thank you guys for watching. Huh?
we should come up with a crypto coin.
Oh dear Jesus! You heard him. I didn't sign off on this. So if you see a Hill Brother coin, I'm sitting back and I'm just profiting off of it because Alan's gonna send the money to me.
Hill brother coin. It'd be worth like less than Doge was.
Hey, as long as it rises like Doge does, that's all I care about. Anywho,
I don't think Doge just rose. Has it?
I thought it was Doge was up there with like Bitcoin. I hear that's the popular one.
Absolutely not. Do you know how much one Bitcoin is?
No, I don't. I'm trying to tell you that I'm dumb to this
I'm pretty
whole
sure Bitcoin
scenario.
right now is almost 100,000 a coin.
Oh, well, that's cheap. You got it.
The sad part about it is, a long, long time ago when this stuff started coming around, they were like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew about it. I was like, $500, that seems like a lot of money for a digital coin. I was like, I don't think I'm going to buy one of these. I was like, but I probably should buy one of those. And now I'd be like $500 to almost 100,000. I'd be, yeah, shame.
Yeah.
Such a shame. Anyway, lessons learned.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Just like 3 years ago, I was listening to a podcast that said, hey, if you're in, I was on Robinhood and doing like the whole Dogecoin thing.
Oh yeah, I remember
And
you doing that.
And I made a couple $100 off Doge, but whatever.
You see my coin? You think I got a coin? That's all I heard.
I think it was JRE or might have been a guy on Jones and Adams podcast was a financer or whatever, and he said buy stock in Shopify. Back then, Shopify stock was like $70 for one. Now it's up to like 100, 140, 150. So basically, you've doubled your money. Missed out, didn't buy it. It's like, I'm not spending Shopify. It's like, Shopify is annoying. I'm not going to, yeah. Listen to people that tell you, advise you to do stuff.
Not everybody has good advice.
Yeah, not okay. Reputable people, like the people on, like Carolina Insiders podcast. I don't think they'd have somebody on there that he was right. Invest in Shopify.
This has been Finance Hour with the Hill Brothers. You didn't know you was getting this at the end of the preview and prediction.
If you hung out this long, you deserve some. You deserve some.
Hey,
I mean,
buy stock now into Hill Brother Coin.
yeah. I'll learn how to create a coin, and we'll start pushing it.
Dude, I played Minecraft when I was young. I think I know how to do this. Don't.
Oh, well, we totally got it then. Yeah.
And as always, go Heels.
Bye, Hill Brother Coins. Thanks.